Hello, welcome back to Chitter Chatter. We're pros
Hello.
now.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody doesn't know, we started off on Moms for Justice and we're doing this channel too now. And I'm like so excited for this channel because it's all about just everyday life. And this episode is about what we have learned through 50 years of friendship,
Yes.
right? And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have that one friend that has been with you, or maybe you haven't, and maybe you're still looking for that friend. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just think that having friends throughout my life has been very important to me. I
Mhm.
like to keep my friends, but you learn things throughout the years of what kind of friend to keep, what kind of friend to keep at a distance. Well, I guess they're more. I guess you consider them acquaintances, but after being 52, you realize who your real friends are too. So you learn a lot, you go through a lot, you experience a lot, and
Mhm.
I guess that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
honestly, you are my longest, oldest friend that I've
Me too.
had.
Or you
And
too.
yeah, and people actually, besides her, have come and gone. And I have some friends that because I'm from Jersey too. She's from Jersey. She's still there. I moved to Tennessee in 2012. And I met all new friends, but even some of them have come and gone already.
Oh,
But,
okay.
um, and a lot of changes have happened in my life in that time. I don't know, maybe, but I just, I feel like, I believe in that theory that, you can count on one hand how many people are really there for you when you're at the end of your life and you're about ready to meet your maker. You probably could only count on one hand how many people have really been there for you as a friend.
Right.
And um I just there are a lot of people out there that are just trying to get as many friends as they can. You know what I mean?
Right.
And with Facebook, you see this increase in people just trying to like be best friends with everybody, and it's like you
Right.
don't need that. You don't.
It's funny. I know that people don't know, but I don't do social media. I don't do Facebook for a lot of reasons. But I will call my friends up and say, "How are you? What are you up to? What are you doing?" And and we'll talk. And they'll say, "Oh, I posted that or whatever," and they know, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I forget that you don't do social media." But
Yeah.
I did have a friend recently say to me, she's like, I just love that you call me and ask me how you're doing because she's like, because everybody posts on Facebook, nobody just gets on the phone anymore and just
No.
talks about their experience. And I love that she recognized that. But it's more effort on my part. It's more effort for me to pick up the phone and be like, hey, how are you? Actually, I did that today. I called one of my friends. I did see her. She did post. I'm a huge TikToker though, because I don't have to reply. So I just get to watch. Anyway, so she had posted because she was in Disney, and I had called her and said, "Oh, I saw your TikTok, and you were in Disney. How was it?" And we were talking about it, and I think you just get more out of it than just seeing her post. And I
Yeah.
think if people just saw her post and just liked it, or commented on Facebook, you just kind of move on. But like if you didn't know about it in a sense,
Mhm.
there was more engaging with friendship. So friendships take work, and sometimes people are not willing to add that work, or sometimes they don't want it to be so hard. Some people don't think
And
it should be that hard.
we're all guilty of utilizing the text message feature because it's
Right.
so easy to say, I checked off that box and I checked in on that friend and I asked how their mother was or how their
Good point.
cancer diagnosis is.
Yeah.
And you get away with not having to do much other than just send a text message. And I really do admire you for that because we all need to do better at that, not only for ourselves and for our state of mind, but also to model that behavior to our children as well, because they're constantly texting. And like
Right.
boys are asking girls out through text. Boys are, and girls, and
And they're breaking
breaking
up through text.
and
Yeah.
breaking up on
Yeah.
through text. And that's one thing I said to my kids. Don't, no, 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 no. You get on the phone, you get a live person because how many, me and her, we not even this year, we would get on these text messages about some disagreements and you can't really read what's going on with that person through a text message. You
Right.
can't. You know what I mean? And people walk away from text messages with hurt feelings, assumption. And if you don't address it on the phone with a person that you can hear their voice or you can see them in person, even if it's a Zoom call is better, right?
Right.
You,
FaceTime, right. I,
yeah.
I absolutely, sometimes that's why, like, if I do end up texting, I really, and I can't get away with just calling them. I always would,
Mhm.
I'm always constantly calling you. I hate
I
texting,
know.
but, I feel like I inundate with emojis because it depends on how you feel, how that person receives your text. They could be in a bad mood. So your text that came through that said, where are you? Instead of being like, it was like you're saying it, where are you? And she's probably reading it as like, where are you? You know what I mean? So it's, you need
Right.
an emoji to be like a happy face. Where are you? You know?
Yeah.
So,
I never thought about that. I never use emojis. I'll do the smiley
oh,
face once in a while.
oh,
But I don't use emojis enough, and I think that is kind of cool. If that's all you're doing, if that's all you're able to do is text, is that you would put down an emoji.
yeah.
But so 50 years of friendship. Why do you think that we're still good today? Like, what do you think the secret was for us?
Um, well, I think the fact that we didn't hold anything over our each other's heads. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I was, so if I didn't talk to you, because with the kids, so my kids are in their 20s. My youngest is the same age as your oldest. So I was going through those kid stage early, 8 years before you even got there. And then I was still doing it when you started. So it was just hard for us to kind of keep in touch, but we still kept in touch. And it was never like, I haven't spoken to you in 3 months, or I haven't spoken to you in 2 months, or I called you 3 times. Why didn't you call me back? It was never like pointing the finger. It was like,
Yeah.
we're on the phone now. Let's take advantage of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, let's
Yeah.
just powwow
And
and see how we're doing.
for me, it's like you have always accepted me for who I am with all my flaws and everything. You're also a very forgiving person, and Lord knows I'm the wild one out of the two of us. I was. You know what? She'd probably say I'm not anymore, right? You'd say I'm not wild anymore, right?
You're a different kind of wild.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm kind of a fast talking ADHD vibe coming off of me sometimes. But back
Yeah.
in the day, I was like, kind of the party girl, the party
Right.
queen, whatever. And you were like my have a cup of coffee. Let's sit down and,
Yeah.
act like
Because
adults when we were only 10. Like,
yeah.
it's so
Yeah,
funny.
I guess it
Like
was.
I've always told people that you still are my classy friend.
Oh God, don't say that.
Always. I have always done that. I've always said that you're classy, you're always very, like,
Well, thank you.
poised, you carry yourself so well and everything, and
Aw.
I'm just like a mess.
No, you're not. You're
Do
not a
you
mess.
remember how high my hair was?
So was mine.
Yeah,
Yours
but
was
then
higher though.
but you stopped the high hair when high hair went out. I just kept it going. When I met my husband, he was like, "Yeah, think you can lower the ramp a little bit?" Because I had
Did
like a
he really?
skateboard ramp. Oh, when I first met him, he was in love with me, but he said that hair. He was like, "You tease it, you put too much makeup on, it's too much." I always did that kind of stuff. I was more risque, and you were always just more
Yes.
minimal and classy, and you know, it's cool. Just a little bit about us. But yeah, babies, marriage. I'll see if I could pull up a
Well, I
picture.
I loved. So you would invite me to see you out on the stage, and I used to love going. So here I was. I would go and watch her go to some club and watch her perform. Her and then she performed a lot before she got into the band with Johnny's, but it was just so much fun. You know what I mean? Like, here you are, like my best friend. Having this awesome, fun nightlife. Because I was doing the family thing 8 years before you even thought about having kids, right? So,
Yeah,
um, so it was just, I loved it. So I kind of like lived through you too.
it was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
lot. I'm actually pulling up a picture from my wedding day of me and you, so people can see
Oh,
it. Ready? Oh wait,
yeah.
hold on. I don't want to like. The only
I
thing
know.
is,
I have a picture of you at my wedding. Oh, I have a picture of us. You're in my wedding. So yeah.
There we are. I was
We
a
look so
blonde
young.
bombshell, and there's Jocelyn. Oh, I love that day, and I was so happy you got to like stand by my
Oh,
side that day.
I have to say, can I tell the story about that day?
About the what? The bustle? My
Dinner,
bustle?
your
Dinner?
dinner. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
I don't remember. So
okay.
go ahead and tell me. As
So,
long as you're not going to
okay.
totally embarrass me, but I have a
No,
sense
no,
of
I don't
humor.
think so. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Go
So
ahead.
put the sense of humor hat on. Okay. So we're eating dinner, and you decide to have the sweetheart table. And I'm sitting with Tony, and we're eating dinner. And all of a sudden, I think it was Erica who came up to me. She comes down. She squats down. She comes to me. She's like, "Carolyn needs you right now." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I'm her maid of honor, by the way. So
Yeah.
I run over there, and I come over to her, and I wish you look over to me and you're like have like this almost like tearing look on your face. You're about
I
to
don't
tear, and I'm like, "What's the matter?" And then you take your napkin on your lap, and you take your napkin away. She had dropped her steak, and it was all over front of
know.
your. Remember, it was all over your dress, and you had
Oh,
like Chambord
prime rib
sauce or something.
juice. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
prime rib red rare juice
right.
all
Yeah.
down
So
the front of my dress.
I stood up and I grabbed the first waitress. I was like, seltzer water right now.
Wait, so it was the beginning of the wedding. It wasn't like you.
We were eating, and I remember just pouring seltzer water down until it came out, and then it was like it looked beautiful, and you're like, thank you, like I
Was that?
saved the day. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you're like the best at that kind of stuff, and you're so calm, and I'm not. Like, don't come to me when you're in a crisis, because I'll be like, oh my gosh, right? You're like, okay,
You're like,
hello,
what am I gonna do? What am I gonna
yeah.
do if my dress is
Jocelyn's
ruined?
like, okay, seltzer water over here. We got this over here. Get me needle and thread. We're good to go. And like, not me, man. I'm like a mess. I am no help. I'm the worst friend. It's horrible.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
funny.
it is
No, listen,
funny.
we all bring something to the table.
Yes, we do.
But there are definitely friends too. I wanted to bring up the point, like
Yeah,
you have friends, and your friendships with other friends are never the same as another friend. Like in one friendship, I might be the talker, and another
yeah.
friendship, I'm the listener, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's other friendships that were like, even, But I just
Yeah.
feel like every friendship is a little different. It's kind of like kids. You can't punish your kids the same way. It's
It's the
they're different.
dynamics. It's the
Yeah,
dynamics of that person because
perfect.
I have
Yeah.
like friends that when I'm with them, I feel like they are more vulnerable. So I feel like I'm the dominant one, but normally I'm not the dominant person in a friendship. I'm not. I don't think I
Yeah,
am.
right.
But and then there's other ones that like, our friend Bonnie, like when I'm around her, I feel like, this big. I'm like, okay, whatever you say, Bonnie. you know, she's hilarious. I love her. So this girl Bonnie that we're friends with, one time I dyed my hair to when
Oh,
I first dyed my hair to blonde. It was like white blonde, kind of like what you just saw in that picture there. And it was for the band, and it looked terrible when I was not in the band. And the reason why is because I had to have a full face of makeup, and I used to twist them in the dreadlocks, and then I would look great to go out and sing for the night. But then when you wake up in the morning, my face would be pasty white. It was never made to have hair that light color. And I just looked horrible on any other day unless I really dressed myself up. So anyway,
okay.
Bonnie had heard that I had dyed my hair.
Oh no.
And I came over to visit her. And I didn't even get, hey, how are you? Or a hug or hi, Carolyn, nothing. I got, what the heck did you do to your hair? Just
I'm
really.
sure it was what the F. What the F.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
she's got potty mouth.
yeah, yeah.
And you know what? Maybe today because I don't curse anymore, and I used to curse, so I'm not like Miss Snooty here. I used to curse, but I made a choice in my life. It was something I wanted to give up, and I still laugh my butt off when I hear somebody else drop a curse word, and it's at the right moment, and it's funny.
Right.
But man, she is extreme. She is potty mouth Bonnie. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like she will just, and I feel this small when I'm around her because I'm just like, okay, how are you too? Thanks for saying, Hi,
Well, she
nice
doesn't.
to
She doesn't necessarily make you feel small. She's just a louder person, and so, and
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like
no.
sometimes with friendships, it's a give and take, and it's exactly what you said. The dynamics of it that you
Yeah.
know, and honestly, like if you were loud that day, she would resort because she
Yeah. But I
can't be
love
loud.
her, and I used to have some of the best like, me and her would go out sometimes, and me and her had the best
Oh yeah,
time. She is so fun. She is so
yeah,
fun, and I miss those days, but
yeah.
yeah, and we need to do an episode just on that, like, our other side, our younger side, and the things we did that were, like,
Questionable,
crazy,
questionable.
questionable.
That's,
We
that's
in
like
fact,
giving up a
we
lot of info.
well, I think a lot of people can relate to that. I think people enjoy talking about their heyday. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
what they did back in the day. But for me and you, it honestly has always been a pretty mild mannered friendship. You were never my party buddy, and that's
Right.
okay. And you
Yeah.
can have a friend that like you said, different dynamics. You can have that friend that you just go out and you party with, and you have that friend that you just, I remember that time I broke up with a boyfriend and I came over and you were with Tony. I don't know if you were married yet, but I came over to your house and you like babied me and let me and
Mhm.
I slept over and you like I was crying and you were like you were never one to though kiss my butt though. You weren't like you would be like get up and get your drink yourself. Like you were like here's a
That's
cup
the
of
Asian in me. That's the Asian in me. Not that I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
care.
you were never that friend, but you'd be loving and all that, but you wouldn't like hold me all night and watch a movie. You weren't that kind of friend, but you'd be like, you know where the coffee is.
Beth
Go get
is,
yourself a cup. But Tony, he was the best. He's so
yeah,
so supportive. And that's the other thing. When you have a best friend, I think it's important that you get along with their spouse. You're gonna have
oh,
problems if you don't. I mean, if that man loves your best friend, then the same way you love your best friend, you need to try to make it work. And there are friends that are like don't like the husband or
I
don't
know.
like the boyfriend.
Which I can understand that, but what I
Why?
don't, I can, no, I can understand that they don't like the boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe their friend is not doesn't stand up for themselves as much.
Right.
But I think it's more important that you are supportive for her
Right.
than hating him. So
Right.
if it means that you are not as vocal in front of him, and
Mm-hmm.
I hate to make somebody change their way too, but you're only changing it for your friend, your friendship. You're respecting your friendship more
Right.
than you're respecting him.
Sure.
It's not really about him or respecting him. It's just really about
Mm-hmm.
respecting your friendship. So I think that's a choice you have to make. But these are the things that you kind of learn later in life, and
Well, some
we've all
girls,
kind of.
some girls simply don't like the husband because they feel, well, they're not hanging out with me anymore because now they're moving on. You know what I mean? That's
No.
if the one friend is not married yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
jealous because they don't have their party buddy anymore. Or they don't have somebody to go out with on a Friday night anymore. And that's hard. And that's, and you can't get mad at the husband for that.
Well, I don't think it's about getting mad at the husband. I think that person, you're talking about the girl, the single girl being mad
Yeah.
at the husband.
Yeah.
See, that's wrong because if anything, it should be directed more towards the best friend.
Yeah.
There's not that I'm saying that she should go out and party, but she should understand that she's married now and that's something maybe she doesn't want to do. Or
Sure.
maybe not
Yeah.
do as often. Maybe she'll do it once a year, but she doesn't want to do it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's concessions that you make for each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
So
sure.
but it's and then you have the friends that you tell them everything. Like, you tell them
Yeah.
they're like your husband. You just tell them everything.
Right. Yep.
Very few of those, yeah.
Yeah. I
And then,
pretty much tell you everything.
yeah. I tell
I
you
was,
too.
yeah, I
I tell
know.
you everything too.
I know. You let me know what's going on and all
Yeah.
that. You're going to have other friends watching this. They're going to be like, I didn't know you told Carolyn everything. I mean, how can they not know? I mean, they know that we go way back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but
I had
yes.
yeah. And of course and then I have my one friend that I tell everything to. So
Hmm. Yeah.
so yeah. But then I don't know. I just feel like I also find it hard to not get in the middle of like, let's say, I do have a couple close friends. We're all in a group, and two of the people have gotten into an argument, and it lasted like a year. It just threw our whole group out of whack.
Yeah.
And I, got in the middle of it because I wanted our group to come back together. It took like a year and a half to finally do it. But that was hard. That's also hard on the friendship you have with each girl because, I'm defending that girl to this girl and then this girl to that girl, and they just hear me defending the other side and not realizing that I'm not on anybody's side. I just want them to hear what that person's thinking or feeling.
Yeah.
So I after that, after finally they came together, I realized I'm never going to get in the middle again. That's just too hard. Getting
Yeah.
in the middle is too hard. I
No.
just got to let it go.
So for me, I think the top 3 things for me why we have lasted as long as we have, and is my advice to anybody that has, their best friend, or, how or they wanna know how to make their friendship last, is honesty, trust, and communication. And
Right.
communication is no joke, man. That is so important. You've got to talk about things. You can't just let the wheels spin in the
Right.
other one's mind and let them go to bed thinking something that is not what you intended them to think. So you've
Right.
got to get on the phone, as painful as it is, as mad as you might be. You got to get on the phone and you've got to say, "Hey, I am mad." You can even say it. You can say, "I'm fuming. I want to strangle you right now." But you got to get to the bottom of it. And if you don't, and things like that pile up, that friendship
That's
will
true.
not make it. It just will
Yeah.
not make it at
I mean,
all.
you could say that with your husband too.
Yeah.
We've both been married for a long time, but I do believe that it's okay to go to bed angry because sometimes you're so upset you might say the wrong things. You may need that
Mhm.
nighttime sleep to
You
wake up
need a
fresh.
day.
Yeah.
You need a day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I do get that theory, but yeah, honesty is the best policy. It
it
really
is.
is. And honestly, if you look at it this way, like you may not want to get on the phone with that person because you don't want to say what you have to say, but in all reality, if you just did that,
Mhm.
um, and you had to say those words out loud, it makes you accountable. So, do you really feel that way? Because if you say it out loud and you say it to that person, then you're accountable for it. And if you don't like the way it sounds out loud, then you may want to think about what you're saying or how you believe or
Right,
what you think.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good, 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 good advice. I wish we had our viewers on, but we're waiting. We're doing video uploads
Yeah.
first, guys, because that's really the way it is. The way you got to do it. You got to train YouTube to recognize what kind of channel you are, and then, um, but hopefully we'll be able to live stream next week. That's what I'd
Yeah.
like to do so that we can communicate with other people like us and,
Right.
be able to. So yeah, watch for that. Make sure you guys are sharing the channel with your friends. I don't want to say this is a ladies only channel because we want the guys on here because we want
Yes.
to talk about you guys too.
Right.
Right?
And if you have a suggestion you want to talk about, put it in the comments. We'd
Yeah,
love
we
to.
will talk about it with
Absolutely.
you for
Yeah.
sure. So
Yeah.
all right, so we're going to wrap it up, and anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good.
Okay, we'll see you guys next
Great.
time. All right. Bye.
Bye.